Yo guys, welcome to Crypto MC. Today we're going to be talking about this trend that is changing. I think it's a big question we need to ask ourselves. And how do you get in early? And then I also want to talk about the typical mistakes we all make. I'm raising my hand. I make the same mistakes. So I want to talk to you guys about those mistakes. I want to share what we're at, and then we're going to be looking at the chart because the last setup that I shared with you guys, if you have a look at the charts real quick, was a juicy long, and we took profit at around 88, and now the market ran another $6,000, $7,000 further down the road. So we're out of the bus. So where do we get back into that bus? Okay, so it's going to be a busy day. I'm going to head over to the comments real quick. Let's quickly say hi. Morning, Liesel. Hope you had an awesome day yesterday. We were trading live. We made this much money. Morning, Renee. Morning, YouTube user. And Stonko, as always. Nice to have you guys here. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, hit the comments, say hi. I'd love to meet you. Okay, and then let's get into this. So in short, the trend has changed, as you can clearly see. And for the longest time, the bias on the setups that I shared with you guys was bearish. So we were going short, we were going short, we were going short, we were going short. And every now and then, if the short was extremely successful, we always used to work, I always work on the basis of a trade. If the move is so fast, it won't last. So if the move was extremely successful, we went long on the basis that there should be a little bit of a retrace, and then we went short again. Here we went long, and the long was literally very promising. I was excited about the long, and at this stage, the content that I was sharing with you guys was, we might break out, although the divergence was there. And I didn't trade on my sentiment, I trade on the technical analysis, and I gave you guys that short again, and the short played out nicely. We held on to the long. Why? Because it could just be a small wave, no divergence, there's no entry to any trade that is guaranteed that it's going to go down to the floor, or when it pumps, it's going to go to the moon. So you have to be a little bit more conservative in your approach. And so we held on to the long for as long as we could, and we ended up taking a few more trades in the making. Okay, ended up riding the short quite nicely down, double bottomed, and I shared this long with you guys when we were here in this environment. And well, there's the day. Shared it on the 25th of April. And I explained to you guys, I'm going to hedge both sides. Now, hidden behind the success of the long is another short. Why? Because the trend at that stage was still bearish, and the no-brainer move would be to be bearish. Now, here's the hard part about trading any trend or any swing. You have to be wrong once to find out whether the trend is shifted. Once you're wrong, and we break the trend as we clearly did, now we have to be weighted to the bullish side of things, and we remain bullish, even though there might be a pullback. There's a pullback happening right now. Even though there might be a pullback, we remain bullish until we break a trend. Simple as that. So I want to unpack that with you guys, and then I want to share a few, I won't say mindsets, I would say a few do's and don'ts that you just don't. We tend to get into our own heads, and we're our worst enemy when it comes to trading. So this goes out to everybody that maybe missed on the moves, watched the video, didn't act on it, and now kicking themselves. I should have bought there, that kind of stuff. So I want to talk to that as well with you guys. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing some trade wisdoms. Let's rather put it like that. Okay, so now we need to identify a trend for ourselves. Now I've drawn a little stupid white line here, and the basis of the white line is just to kind of just visually represent what is happening in the market. Trend lines, it's like opinions. You can move them around as much as you want, okay? So it's not something that's supposed to be cast in stone, ever. Okay, let's take away all this as well while we're at it. So the way that I created this channel, I'm going to do the same thing now. So I'm going to just quickly show you that. So when you have a little white line like that, and you have divergence, you can clearly see the RSI is diverging from what price is doing on the left side of the line, meaning there. That's when you need to start thinking about, when we break the trend, that there's going to be a change, because momentum is lost. And when we were down in these lows, I had that same sickening, itchy feeling that the bear momentum is getting lost. So I'm going to move the RSI up. So what did we do? Okay, we had our bearish trend. Let's draw that line. Had our bearish trend. And as the trend was forming, you had a scenario where it was slowly but surely getting weaker. Weaker meaning looking at the lows. There's lower lows, but not so much so. You're not dropping from there to there anymore. And you've got a divergence that's doing the opposite as well. There was a little bit of a crazy, but there was the divergence there, hence the entry. Weak bullish divergence, mind you, but divergence nevertheless. Okay. And now that we're on the other side of the trend, you get to relive this, but just from a bullish point of view. So what's going to happen next, though, is this. How long that's going to be, I don't know. So we always have to trade on the basis that I don't know exactly what the move is going to be and how it's going to look. So you have to be open to all the potential possibilities. Which brings me, before I'm going to then finish this analysis, to the few things that I just want to talk you guys through before we move on. So I tweeted it out this morning just so that we can have it on note. And let's take a sip of aqua before we get crazy. So traps to avoid when the trend has changed. Okay, so the trend clearly has changed. I've shown that now to you guys. The first thing is denial or anchoring. Okay, so what we tend to do is we tend to cling to a setup. So you'll have guys saying, we need to short again. We need to short again. We need to short again. That was the short. That was on the momentum play. Momentum has shifted. That was the last setup that I shared with you guys on the basis. So remember, that was the short. That's it. We're done. We're done shorting. So don't cling to that. Okay. Then the second thing that traders tend to do. So if you find yourself doing that, you almost hit yourself on the hand and say, stop it. It's simple as that. Okay. Overconfidence. Okay. Traders believe that they can predict reversals, holding, losing positions, or worse, doubling down. Meaning, bullshit. That Dixie is bearish. This guy doesn't know what he's saying. I get those comments. I get guys. I've never seen the guy. Tells me straight to my face on the comment section, you're a moron. This is going to go to the floor. That kind of stuff. Okay. So they're holding on to that conviction like crazy because somewhere the M2 money supply or the Dixie or something is saying that this is crazy and you have to. As soon as you fall into that narrative or in that group, you need to pull yourself out because it's going to hurt you. The trend is the trend. It's simple as that. And if you're a trader, which we are, we're watching this video, okay, you're a trader, you treat it as if it's going to last forever. So you don't double down on a losing position. Take your punishment and move on. Because if you went long, by now you would have made the loss back and some. Okay. Third thing we want to talk about is FOMO. This is the tricky thing, okay? When the market starts moving, at some stage you're saying, shit, I need to get in. Now, the FOMO for me at this time around was on the hodl side, the altcoins. I had a lot of guys, but you need to get in. You need to now buy. We're losing it. I'm even getting that in my group. But the guys say, well, but it's running away from me. It's not running away from you because if you look at the bigger scheme of things, here and there, you're going to have this. So that's the FOMO that comes in. That's where I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the FOMO crowd to get taken out because after each and every trend break, there is a dip. Let's look at SUI. When did the trend break? You can argue there, you can argue there. But when did we have divergence and a lateral range, meaning price fighting similar resistance and support levels? There. Trend broke there. Yes, you can FOMO in there at $1. And when it's back down 30%, oh shit. So now it doesn't look that crazy. But I promise you, without hindsight, which is the trader's biggest enemy, you can almost make that your mantra for the day. Hindsight is your biggest enemy because it wrecks your account because you now hold on to onto what you could have done. You didn't have the info at that stage. 30% down, you scared shitless. Okay, that's what I'm waiting for. Simple as that. So moving on. This is the fourth thing, revenge trading, guys. If you have that impulse to act now, okay, the thing is running, I need to get in, that kind of revenge trading. This is these guys that went long at 94, okay? My shorts have been taken out consistently now. I hate this bloody Bitcoin. I'm going to go long and lick it and stick it. It's as simple as that. Those kind of trades will wreck you longer than what you have, because sometimes you just have to be patient. I say that, guys. I just had a short, a long, almost. Well, it's not taken out yet. I'm still in. Yeah, bugger. I had a position there as well, trying to get the breakout. It happens, but you don't want to act on going long here. This is the worst place to go long. Okay, so that's yesterday's trade. We went there. The TP was right there. So it kind of just didn't get there. I managed to get out early enough, warning guys. Some guys waited for the TP. And so yesterday, and those in the trade group with me, some of them are a little bit down on profit. And with this one this morning, they're probably definitely down on profit. So it happens. Okay, so don't FOMO in. 90K looks good. And I'm going to show you, after I've gone through this list, on the analysis part, why I say 90K. Okay, and then let's move on. Paralyzing yourself, or analysis paralysis. Oh shit, it didn't play it the way I wanted it to do, and now I don't know what to do. Now, I say this sometimes, sitting in your hand is the best trade to do. So, but analysis paralysis means that, okay, we've clearly broken trend, but now it has to visit this level, or otherwise I can't go long. That's analysis paralysis. So if you find yourself doing that, it has to, when it's clearly giving you other signals. There's lower highs, there's higher lows, hidden bullish divergence. Get the fuck in. Let's go. It's the market can do this to you. It can trick you. So that's why you always have to be open to the possibilities. I don't predict stuff. I just trade the possibilities. Okay. So if you find that happens, guard against that. Okay. Then lack of discipline. When you have this thing, and I use the word next time because I do this as well, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, I take a trade. I think to myself, next time I will hold it for longer, or next time I will do this. Next time I'll do that. As soon as you start doing that, you don't have discipline. You're never going to make it. Even if the setups are good, you're going to find a way to fuck yourself. Simple, lack of a better word. You're going to screw yourself over in this way by maybe taking profit there and taking profit there each time. And then when this one fails, you're losing all that profit and that time. Okay, so discipline is the trickiest thing, and hey, nobody can force you to do anything. You're in control of the mouse buttons. Okay, leveraging, build a position like a snowball and not like a boulder. So what we tend to do is we tend to want to stand on the edge of the cliff with a massive boulder. I'm going to go big. I do this as well. I'm guilty here, guys. And then I want to push this thing, and I try and get this thing to move, and it rolls back, falls on your feet. A boulder can crush your feet in your portfolio long before, and then it does run down the hill, but you're out. So it happens to all of us, where you get in and you're going too big too soon, and then you're out of the trade, and then the trade runs away from you. And now, because you're disciplined and you don't want to FOMO in, you're sitting on your hands like an idiot because you were greedy. Okay, that's probably my personal biggest mistake, because I know enough technical analysis that I'm a genius, man. I don't need to worry about this. I can get in on that little bit of a squeeze. And then I end up losing out on the moves. So these things happen, guys. So be mindful of that. Rather build it like a snowball. Start with a little bit, and as it works in your favor, you add until finally you get to a point where you take profit when the momentum is gone. Okay. And remember, the market, because it's a big machine, momentum takes time. You've got more than enough time to take profit. No excuse there. Okay. Then the last one, let's talk about this. Ignoring the context. Now, every morning when I'm in the Discord, guys, I do a market tactics stream with the guys. So I look at the weekly analysis, daily, 4 hour, and then smaller and smaller. I do that every day. Those in the Discord, drop a comment. You can verify this for me, for the guys. Okay. And they're probably watching this video. That's what I do. I do a multi-time frame analysis, because I need to keep in touch with what's really happening, the bigger picture. So with a weekly like this, it's foolish to be bearish. Okay? With a daily like this, it's foolish to be too bearish. Okay, because yes, it can come back down. I've got a bison that I've got my eyes on with everybody there. But then on a 4-hour, you then understand if your long fails and it goes against you, which is pretty much what I think is going to happen with my long now, because we were trying to play off this momentum, this line here. There, I was trying to bounce off that for continuation. Okay. If that happens, you still have context. You don't flip bearish because your long failed. You know that maybe there's another level. It's just hunting for demand. This is all the market is doing, just looking for more demand. Okay, that's it. And that's basically the whole thing. So you need to keep eyes on that. Now, I tend to stay away from news, but if news is something that really works for you, go for it. I like to look at the sentiment and, those kind of things. So that's the basis. And that's how we manage to navigate this. And I think quite successfully, keeping in mind that that long didn't trigger, that long we took profit on, that long we stopped out, but we had 1, 2, 3, 4 shorts leading against that long by the time we took profit. Okay, so it's as simple as that, guys. Okay, now countermeasures, accept losses quickly. It's simple. It's stuff that you can probably Google everywhere, but let's talk about acting against your own stupidity, basically. And I'm talking to myself more than I'm talking to you guys. Remember, because I'm the biggest idiot, I trade for a living, I make a hell of a lot of mistakes. Okay, accept your losses quickly. Draw a line and be fine with it, because when you take a trade, you need to tell yourself, I've already committed the loss. Because if you plan on taking the trade for the win, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. I'm putting money up front to find out whether it's going to move in my favor or not. So you almost need to think of it like a gamble. When you put your money on the table, it's gone. You don't get angry at the house. You get angry at yourself. As simple as that. And why? There's no control over that. So just do that, and then stay flexible. Reassessing the market without an ego, guys. It's as simple as that. If I wanted to, I think El Capo, that Twitter account, El Capo, was the biggest, example of an ego going against you. We were down here at Bitcoin, and I don't want to shit on the guy. He's a reputable trader. I like the guy, but simple. We were sitting here at 15.2, and he was saying, no, we're going to go to 12. Okay, and it's that ego, because his comment on the trend is turning went viral. So he had all these followers hyping in. His account went from a few 100,000 to 1 million followers. So he had all of that. So he had this ego to now show the people that he's good. But then the market kind of front-runned him, and then everybody was shitting on the poor guy. Simple as that. And that's a worst-case scenario example of that. But don't let that impact your own trading. Okay. Then what else can we do? Control your emotions. Now, if you can't control your emotions, when you're tired, you're stressed, you're overworked, or whatever the case might be, because I tend to trade I can trade for a living, but most of you guys still have to go do day jobs. Be careful, So if you can't do that, just don't trade. It's like drinking and driving. When you're drunk, you don't drive. It's simple as that. Okay. And then risk management is key, guys. I say that as much as I can. Okay. And then, there's more stuff. Use objective signals. Look at the RSI. Don't look at stuff that's lagging. Okay. Because it's going to take forever to pitch up. We can do example of this. I can show you the trend scope. This indicator I built for you guys. It's free. Just go and load it up. Okay. And then you can have a look at all the various analysis. Okay. Short term, 4-hour time frame. What is happening now? All of this was even as well. It was showing it was confused. Now it's showing to you, hey, it's bullish. So it's just the momentum is there. You need to just go long. Okay, simple as that. You can use this short-term momentum. You can look at the long-term momentum. What does the long-term momentum say? We're only turning around now, so we're probably going to be chopping around here for a little while before the move happens. That's what the long-term momentum is showing. Okay, simple. So that's moving averages. It's the easiest thing that most traders learn the first time around. Trading range-wise, where you look at where we are at. So it's simple. When does big move really happen? Is when the Bollinger Band narrows down. It's basically all that you want to see. When that range starts shrinking, you can expect your next move. Whether it's up or down, I would rather always bet in harmony with the trend. It's as simple as that. And it's doing that just now. So it tells you need to start thinking about getting into your swing longs. which is why I want to share a setup with you guys. Lastly, there's more stuff. There's a scalper in there. There's a VWAP. There's a super trend. All the tools that you would need. Super trend. Look at it. It's been bullish on the 4 hour now for forever. It turned blue there already. So there's the evidence. There it was blue. We were hoping that this is going to go well. So that tool is there. It's for free. You can just download it and use it. Okay. Then, before I do the analysis, I said that already. And now I'm throwing in more. I want to talk to you guys about PrimeXBT. Okay. Now, there's a lot of you guys that got PrimeXBT accounts. Okay. Oops. You've got a PrimeXBT account. You can go to the reward center. You've already opened your account with my link. Go to the reward center. Go claim your free money, guys. On your trading volume. I see a lot of the guys, they trade. They don't go and have a look at this. Simple. Go to the reward center. Go and claim it. That's it. Free money. If you don't have a PrimeXBT account, what you can do is there's still hope for you. You can go over to the partner section in my Discord, click on PrimeXBT, and there's a little structure. So if you open an account, you deposit $500, you can get up to $1,500 in your account through the reward center with that. Okay, so simple. You can go through this and just check out. And if you deposit $30, you can get up to $140. Now you can't withdraw that money, but you can trade with that money. So if you don't have much money, you can basically already leverage that to a point. Okay, and once you have your $10,000 worth of trade volume, you can claim your bonuses. Everything in there, guys. Links in the video description and in there. As simple as that. Get your Prime now. Okay, back to the charts. Now let's talk trend real quick. Okay, maybe what I need to do is just quickly have a look at the comments real quick and see where you guys are at. Come on, let's see. Matty says, yeah, Matty watches some market. Okay, let's see if there's anything. I switch off my PC and I have a history of revenge trading. There you go, Chris. I tend to, and there's actually an interesting data on this. When guys, during bear markets, the amount of logins into exchanges and stuff, because people, who wants to be reminded of bad news? That's why news gives you a narrative. They don't just tell you what happened. They tell you how you should feel about it, Nobody wants to be. So yeah, there you have it. Let's see what else. Monthly RSI can't close below 18. However, 2x in BTC history, we've had sharp stochastic RSI reverse. I think this is the play. Now, I'm hoping for you, buddy, and I really think that there's the potential for me. I don't use the stochastic RSI, to be honest with you. But yes, we can look at the larger time frame real quick. The monthly for me is a little different, though. The monthly for me is this, 49,000. Why? Because the RSI is already, well, it didn't go lower than that. Okay, so even if, let's say, all shit hits the fan, we break trend somewhere here, and this thing does this. Okay, the RSI will be passing through there quicker. So even worst case scenario, that's a thing. But monthly is not something that you should use for trading, though. It's a nice trading sentiment, and if you look at it from a monthly point of view, there's only now the establishment of maybe a trend. If we reject there's not a lot of data to go off from. So the only thing that I will be looking on the monthly is Harmony. We're still going up. The RSI is still making higher lows, and for me, everything is still good. Okay, so there's the monthly for you guys. Okay, let's delete this and let's quickly have a look at this 4 hour. How much time have I been using now? 23 minutes. I need to get done. Okay, so let's do this. Zoom in there. 4 hour time frame. I'm gonna take away everything else. I'm not going to talk about the buddy indicator today, but you also get the buddy indicator. Check watch yesterday's Tuesday's video. You'll see what I mean by the buddy indicator. Let's clean up this chart real quick. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the analysis. Where's my analysis gone to now? There we go. Thank you. Wrong one. Boom. So I'm going to take away the setups that's shared, and I'm just going to bring in the analysis. So this is what we played off with. Now, I said momentum lost, sideways. Okay, now momentum lost. The thought was we'll go make a higher high and come back down to almost create like a head and shoulders pattern, something like that, or whatever. But we've now broken out of that trend, so we're here. We're in this environment. There, the market's moving fast. Okay. So what we're trying to do is simple. First thing is identify support resistance level. Trading tip number one. First thing you do, find support and resistance. Okay. So where did we have resistance for price? Price was resisting here. And has it been turned into support yet? No. Okay, so that's an important level, 86. Then out of that, when did we create supply zones? Now, what is a supply zone? Is when price breaks through a specific level and then sells off. So you get these wicks. So it's market executed orders. So there's a supply zone sitting right there. Okay. So let's mark it out. So this is a supply zone. That was broken. So let's do this. Do supply zone broken. Supply zone. And we broke the supply zone. So then what needs to happen? We need to turn this into support. So the easiest way to then to argue that this is okay, what we want to see is price go and test 88, the upper end of this range, and then bounce for continuation. And when we're at those lows, we expect some sort of a trend to hold. That's all. That's all we're trying to do for now. Not trying to put too much ideas in our minds or too many narratives and things, because let's be honest, it's limited at what we know for now. We've got one big pump. One pump doesn't make a trend, guys. Okay? So even on the HODL side of the altcoins, I'm still very reserved. The HODL report I shared with everybody in the Discord, it basically pointed down. I mean, this report, I was really reluctant to even share the coins that's in that report with the guys, because I still feel like there's going to be some sort of a blood on the alt side. Okay, so there you have it. Now, there's other ways you can find and fine-tune this. Simple. I teach this a lot. 50% of the candle that makes the higher high, that's the buy. You know, that rule. That rule is very simple. Put a little fib on that, 50%. There you go. And around that range, you want to look to start buying with your invalidation below the candle. So if the market wants to front run us, you've got to have skin in the game. You can't wait for this, because it's only here and there where you have that picture perfect analysis, where it goes exactly to the previous area of resistance and then it tests it. But if you want that picture perfect, you might just miss the bus, guys. Okay, so you have to almost give this thing a little bit of an organic move. So the next play would be simple. I want to go long with you guys, considering around 92 with an invalidation of below 86. And then where's the dream going to take us? Well, simple. If we scale this up monthly time frame, or let's weekly, not monthly, weekly. If price goes and makes a higher high, and the RSI is lagging behind, you can clearly see that in relation to these highs where price is and those highs where price is, okay? We'll have another strong bearish divergence. Probably the one that we need to say this time, you know, I will take profit. This one. Where is it? It just popped up. This time, yeah, you're going to take profit. We'll see. Okay, and it's at that stage where I'm expecting the market to create strong bearish divergence. Okay, so divergence prediction, meaning from 112 all the way to 135, with my narrowed down best guess estimate sitting at 120. I've been saying that for forever. So that's it. Okay, there you have it, guys. Thanks so much for taking your time. I hope I really helped you guys, give you guys a little bit of context, give you a little bit of mindset, and maybe just I make those mistakes myself, guys. It's as simple as that. So if you find yourself screwing up like that, it's okay. Just, you know, work on that. You know, it's like going to the gym. You can't lift all the weights on day one, but you keep going, you know, you keep working on this so that you can go through the countermeasures. So you can start moving forward. It's as simple as that. Okay. What about the alts? Lower swing from Maria. I don't know, my friend. Tomorrow we'll be doing another alt stream, and then we'll look at that. I need a little bit more information. As simple as that. The stuff's in trending. I used to do the alt streams every day, but there's not a lot happening. So would I say that they're going to go make a lower low? No. I want to see the market put a bottom in. If we keep on making lower lows indefinitely, at some stages there, but my wants and my needs means nothing. With Bitcoin pretty much where it's at, I doubt that that's a high probability. So any alts, I won't be playing the lower low card with it. Okay. Let's see what else. Market is quite fast. What if we tap the 4-hour fair value gap and just go? Well, we're going to have to wait for that time and see, because at the end of the day, the fair value gap that you're referring to on the 4-hour, okay, is sitting right there at 85. You can also argue that there's one at 89. I first want to bet that this support is going to hold before I doubt that it's going to shake everybody out. Now, if it does that, it changes the dynamic of this trend. I don't want to go there. It's simple as that. We'll take it as it goes. We take things level by level. You know that by now, so how it works. Okay, Mario, and the rest of you guys, thanks for taking the time. 30 minutes, I think, is a almost too long stream already. Do me a favor. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if this content was helpful, if you're still watching right now, and share with a friend. Let's try and get the guys in, because the next move is going to be amazing. It's inevitable, even if it's not the move right now. It's going to be amazing. We're going to see insane moves going forward. Where did my Ethereum go to? Did I delete it? Okay, I'll use Solana as an example real quick. Okay, now I need to be on the stream. There we go. Come on, just catch a wake up. The next move is going to be amazing. The only thing is, will you be able to get out there? Okay, that was a missed sell. That's the hard part. And that's what this channel does, okay? It gets you in on the good entries. It helps you through the zones, and then it gets you in on the sells. That's what I try and do, okay? And we take things level by level, because I didn't predict that it was going to go to 3.9. It was at that stage the most probable move for this to happen. And that's the reality. Okay, there you have it. Have a lovely day, guys. Cheers. Let me get the end screen button.